How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Tokyo Rising. Today is episode number 31. Today is the end of season number 4 and today we end it with a bang. Promotion is secured, the title is not. But allow me to rewind for just a moment because as I just said, promotion has been secured and when it was secured, these inbox items came through. A wage budget of £26,000, a transfer budget of 2.5 million is crazy. And I think that is really an indicator of just how big of a step up J3 is. The top 2 divisions of Japanese football is where the money's at. We've obviously reached that point in Japanese football much earlier than expected. And while with our finances looking healthy, the wage budget has jumped up, the transfer budget has jumped up, and we're going to be busy, I think, come the winter period. Now, of course, there is already a load of transfer stuff going on, and I know some people were thinking transfer special today. No, it's not happening today, but let me give you some transfers just to satisfy that desire. Of course, we've already talked about Nakano, very good goalkeeper who's going to be joining us at the end of the year. I think he's going to be our new starter. Hashizume was another player that we'd already agreed to sign, but I feel like I've got a player better than both these two players joining, and that man is Daisuke Ono, 18 years old, left wing back at heart, left back for us for the coming year. This guy is 18 years old, he's absolutely phenomenal, and we've managed to secure his signature for a measly £40,000. In the grand scheme of things, this is a great deal. Right now, it shows no one else in the comparison with him. That's because his only natural position is left wing back. And don't worry, that is not all. I've signed another younger player for the future, a versatile fullback option. The wing back area was a concern all of this year. It was going to be a concern in the off-season. To an extent, I'm still kind of worried about it. I definitely need another right back, but nevertheless, Hattori here, a very good player to pick up. 17 years old, one for the future, came through in the kind of annual youth players are going to be released inbox item that you see in Football Manager. Decided he was worth a punt. I like the look of this guy. Anyway, that's some transfer stuff. Now we've got some match stuff to talk about. But before we do that, probably should run the intro. We're a few minutes in now. I can hear Editing Jack. He's shouting. He's getting angry. Look, I'm doing it, mate. I'm doing it. Run it, please. Thank you. Hello, you lovely, beautiful people. I hope you're having a lovely week thus far. Today is Wednesday, and well, we are going to end the season with a bang. Now, since last episode, I played 3 league games. We won 2 of them, we lost 1 of them. Our form lately really has not been good, has it? When you look at our form here, this just looks sad. The only saving grace in all of this is Hollyhock, our big rivals for the title, have completely capitulated. They basically secured promotion and they've gone on holiday. They did have some tricky games lately, to be fair, but their recent form has been atrocious, and it's opened up a door where, well, we have a game in hand on them. Win that game in hand, we go top. Going into the final game of the season, we have a chance to secure the title. In fact, as I sit here right now, whether or not we win the J3 title, entirely in our own hands. So today we're going to find out, can we win the league? There is also an away day to do. It is against Trinita Oita. This team's stadium looks mental. It's the Oita Bank Dome. I think it might be a fully roofed stadium. I mean, this picture here has me piqued with my interest. I need to find out more about it. But before that, yeah, we've got another game to do. And I should also say, after all the games have been played, still got the end of season wrap-up. So today might be a slightly more bumper episode. Our first opposition today are Fesur. Now, they're bottom of the league. Yeah, it's not great for them. They need a win here to potentially move out the drop zone. With a good result here, we could wreck their goal difference and all but condemn them to life in the JFL. So it's 2 teams at opposite sides of the table, but let's be frank, recent form has not been good for us. Now, I have had a few injuries lately. Sakurai has been out injured, as has Matsushita, 2 of the go-to backup players, unavailable. They're still not really fit enough for the game today, annoyingly. And another man who I did not have for the last game was Takagi. He was suspended, having been sent off in our most recent defeat. He's back in the team today. That said, I think I'm actually going to start him on the bench because Omarov, who came in for him, put in a really good performance in our last game, got a goal and an assist, really saved our bacon. And he's been good. So nothing personal, Takagi, but I don't want to say he's let me down this year because he scored 17 goals. But when you look at this form chart and you look at his form in the last kind of, I don't know, 7 or 8 games here, it's pretty bloody awful. In his last 8, one game with above a 7.0 rating. And in fact, when it's come to goal scoring this year, you can kind of see the goal scoring records here. Takagi has 17. Batata is leading the way with 21. 20 of those coming in the J3. The reality is that Takagi hasn't really been the lethal goal scorer that he had been in previous years. Only 12 goals for the year. I say only, that might seem like a really harsh assessment. I suppose I'm comparing that to last year, which perhaps is a tad unreasonable, although he has played many more games. Nevertheless, he's going to be on the bench today. I'm going to go with Omarov. I suppose if there's a strength to our team, in spite of the fact that Takagi's been struggling, we've got a large variety of goal scorers. In fact, the number of players who have contributed with at least a handful of goals is pretty bloody impressive. So anyway, this is the team we're going to go with. I have just shuffled around the defence because I just remembered Yoshida was out the team having been suspended. He's going to play with Ataki at the back. Noda probably playing his last few games for the club, at least as our mainstay starter. I feel like when Nakano comes in, Nakano is just going to be the obvious option to go with. Much better when it comes to aerial reach and jumping reach, which I think is tough to find in Japanese goalkeepers. I actually really like the 24-year-old. That's not to say I won't keep Junpei Noda around. I kind of like the idea of keeping him, especially because if I'm not mistaken, he will one day eventually be homegrown at club. In fact, it will be at the end of next year. If I'm not mistaken, J2 is the level where homegrown at club really starts to matter. Elsewhere in the team, I had played Yoniyama in our most recent game and he played really well, so I think I'm going to keep him in over Yamada, who had been struggling for form. I feel like sometimes in Football Manager, even when you have a really good player on paper, sometimes you just kind of have to drop them to prove a point to them. That's what I've done with Yamada. Sadly, the man who I dropped him for has put in an even better point. So yeah, he is going to start in this game, Yoniyama. Hopefully the youngster can have a good little game. So a win here against the team who are bottom. We go top of the table going into the final match day. What a position that would be to find ourselves in. Like I said, Hollyhock have just been on a holiday, really. Meanwhile, we've looked pretty good in our recent games. Omarov immediately justifies his inclusion. I can see why Fesur are bottom of the league. 30 seconds into this game, I don't even think it was that actually. Batata setting up Omarov. Maybe I should have dropped Takagi sooner. Omarov's looking very good. That, by the way, was a 16-second goal, I think, or 17 seconds. That's probably the fastest goal in Tokyo 23 history. It's probably one of the fastest in this competition as well, at least during the duration of the save game. What a fantastic way to open up this game. Maybe just settle some of the nerves slightly. Like I said, going into this match, today's episode is entirely in our own hands. Win our games, we're going to win the league. We've struggled lately for some consistency. I'd love to find it in these last two. Numata at left back, throws it short to Batata. He's going to, half take down the ball, battles it back for it well. Not a load of support immediately around him, but does he need that support? He's going on a wander. He's going on a run. He gives it to Komori, who scores. I'd say he's given that to Komori. I don't know if Komori's stoling it off his teammate there. We had a similar incident last episode. Right there, though, we have got the all-important second goal. And Batata, I mean, I'm disappointed he's not the man who's ultimately put the ball in the back of the net. But nevertheless, his run just stretched the defence. Komori latched onto it, and the number 7 tucks it away. I feel like Komori this year has been a little bit quiet. He kind of set a really high standard last year where he got 7 goals and 9 assists. This year, 11 assists is great. 1 goal, though, and the average rating's really dropping off is a little bit sadder because we rejected a load of bids for him during the previous off-season, didn't we? There was loads of teams interested in him. Do wonder if maybe I should have taken those bids in hindsight. Could I have found someone else to bring in instead? Maybe, but it's not what we did, and well, we have to deal with him on the pitch as he gives away the ball and then we give it away again. What is that? I mean, I'm going to blame Komori, but I'll tell you what, Ataki's not covered himself in glory there either. Right, as I start to talk about, should I have sold Komori? This happens. Football Manager has a sense of humour, doesn't it? Hashimoto battled back for it well, and Kikuchi, nice little finish. Can't really blame Noda there. That was their first shot of the entire game, by the way. They've really not done a lot with it. It cuts our lead to just 1 goal. I'd love to reinstate the 2-goal lead before the break. Maybe a chance here. Yoniyama, Kayanoki, ghosting inside, pulling the trigger, hits the woodwork, and Komori is never going to win a header. He's like 5'0". 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Been a really good first half. Just a shame the scoreline perhaps doesn't reflect the level of dominance we've had. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy because simply I want to get them fired up. And you know what? I'm going to bring some fresh legs into the team. Yamada, Onyukuma advanced playmaker. Left back, Numata's not been good here. Jamin in Yukam. Actually, I say that, there's a load of places in the team where I could improve things. Let's move Takeshi to centre-back, and then Jaemin is going to come in for Mitsuhashi. I'm going to take off the 2 underperforming defenders. It's not that I don't trust them, but there's an aspect of the fact I just don't really trust them. I feel like we're a team blessed with a lot of very good centre-mid, some decent strikers as well, but when it comes to our defence, whilst there's some good players there, you know, Takeshi, Yoshida, Ataki at centre-back have kind of cycled those positions, especially in the wing-back areas. It's actually, to be fair, it's just been a consistent thing here at Tokyo 23. We've never had standout defensive players, have we? I'm thinking back through the annals of time, and I'm probably now forgetting somebody who was really, really important at some point, but the reality is, defensive-wise, it's never been our strength. Despite the fact we play this defensive brand of football, besides the odd header by Takeshi, I can't recall that many great centre-back moments. I was really hoping Takeshi was going to score a header there to prove a point. If they did get a goal back here, we would not be top of the league. We'd actually be a point behind Hollyhock. So as comfortable as I do feel in this game, if they get a second, don't do it, Football Manager. Please don't do it. For the love of God, Mace has the ball for them. Kano. It's probably Masse, isn't it? Not Mace. Kawata. Kano. I don't like this. You're on bottom of the league. Stop trying. Batata. Has he shot there? Is that a shot? Is that... I feel like that was a shot. I mean, I don't know what's worse, if it was a shot or if it was something else there by Batata. He's shot from absolutely no man's land. Maybe that's a sign of the panic that our players currently face. As with 3 minutes left, we're on the back foot again. This is not how this game is meant to end. If they get a goal back, I'm going to be fuming. Noda collects with confidence. And now I'm craving a third goal. Because if they get a goal here and draw level and we drop down to second, I'm going to be so annoyed. Batata, options inside, could go on his own, drops it back to Omarov, falls back to Batata. I'll be honest, I was convinced he was going to be given offside there. The flag's not gone up. We are going to win this game. One of the more unconvincing goals I've ever seen. Batata's pullback was great. The fact that Omarov has managed to hit it straight at the defender there is quite the achievement, really. Fortunately for us, Batata was alive to the threat. Apparently it was a tight offside. How tight was this offside? You're telling me... I'm going to be honest, I don't know why the line's been drawn there. Are we saying Batata passed it to himself? You know what? I'm not going to question officials in Japan not knowing the offside. For all, we've benefited from it this year a little bit, haven't we already? This game here is going to finish 3-1. Batata, man of the match, 9.9 rating, 2 assists and a goal. And with that result there, we do go to the top of the table, a point ahead of Hollyhock. We actually have a goal difference that is 10 goals better, but nevertheless, we are going to need to win our final game. Trinita, who we take on, are going to be battling for their lives down in 18th, which is going to be quite something. As for Hollyhock, in their final game, they are taking on Kamatamare Sanuki. That is the name of the team. I've said that with absolute confidence. This team in 13th. You'd expect Hollyhock to beat them. Really makes our next game important. Speaking of which, we are heading to the Trinita Dome. In fact, no, it's the Oita Bank Dome. I guess Oita's the place, Trinita's the football club. This stadium looks absolutely mental, doesn't it? Let's go see what it's all about. Now, I'll level with you, given the fact the league title is going down to the wire, it doesn't necessarily feel like the most natural time to have an away day, but away days wait for no man. Well, they occasionally wait for me. We are leaving Tokyo today. We are heading to Oita, which I have already had a quick check on. Oita is down here on the southern island bit of Japan. Obviously, Japan is just a collection of islands. Do these islands all have separate names? I assume so. Oita, by the way, is here, and we are heading to the Oita Dome, which I don't know, for some reason in my head, it kind of reminds me of the Crystal Maze. Completely different, of course. The Oita Dome as well. I'm going to assume it's this big building here. It looks like a dome, doesn't it? It smells like a dome, and it is labelled here, the Dome. So we're in the right place. Firstly, can we just say the car parking? Oh, my word. They've got overflow car parking across the road, and more car parking, more car... I'm in heaven. In terms of the surrounding area around the stadium, I'll level with you. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on in terms of theme parks and stuff, but if you like football, if you just want to go for a kickabout or just do sport, you're going to have a great time here in Oita. Also, I have noticed with a lot of the away days, we get parks. There is a park here in Oita. I'm going to check it out. Here it is in all its green, luscious glory. This one, an upgrade on the Vissel Kobe Stadium's park, because they've got coverage. It's not just grass everywhere. There is actually some seatings, and that monstrosity over there, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the Dome. Just checking out the car park, before we get too far into things today. It's a car park where they've not prioritised cramming in as many spaces as possible. There is room for grass here. I wanted to know what the building next to the stadium was. It is a gymnasium. I feel like we probably could have guessed that. It seems like a pretty bloody big gym in here, though. I didn't even spot this. There's more car parking around the bottom. This stadium has a lot of parking. It also has a lot of photospheres that people have submitted. Here is the Oita Dome from the outside. I don't know why. I just assumed there was going to be big seating at this end as well. Instead, we can just see into the stadium. I mean, I'll say now, this stadium looks absolutely insane. Is the roof fully retractable? Is it just a day where they've got the roof down, or is this all just for show? I have to assume this can just be fully covered. This stadium is mental for a 3rd division team. This stadium has its own spine and rib cage. I am going to just assume that this can be fully covered. I mean, I guess that's good for if it rains. It's like centre court on Wimbledon, isn't it? They've got a fantastic scoreboard here at one side. They've even got the old school clocks, which I feel like is just a consistent thing here in Japan. I feel like for the first few away days I mentioned it. Now I'm just realising it's normal here. As far as seat art goes, like the colouring's not the best, is it? I mean, you're in Oita, but Trinita, the football club, don't have any real representation here. I don't even think they play in green. It does also annoy me that we've got some yellowy seats, some red seats, and some green seats. Have some consistency, have some pictures drawn or something. Have fun with your seat art. Oh my word, this makes me feel ill. I'm on the roof. Here is the view around the stadium, by the way. What a view this is. Not sure you can come up here on match days, mind you. If you look down, yeah, the football pitch is below us. You know what? I'm feeling funny just up here. Let's not look down. Let's just enjoy the views. The Oita Dome, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful country. I'm going to go ahead and say it. One of my favourite away days we've done so far. Apparently the stadium can hold 40,000 people, so I feel like I've just done it a massive disservice. It didn't look like 40,000 seats on the inside, but I guess it's a big running track. You're quite far away from the pitch. I mean, the stadium is mental. The roof is really, really cool. For a team who play in the 3rd division, this is mad. To be fair, they were playing in J1. You can see as recently as kind of 2021, they actually got relegated last year from J2. So traditionally, they are a team much higher up the pyramid. The fact they're in danger of getting relegated today is wild. And I suppose we can use that as our segue into these final games of the year. Trinita are trying to stay up. They're currently in 18th. They could get, dropped into the relegation playoffs potentially alongside Azul Claro. Elsewhere, Sagan Tosu, because at one point were rock bottom of the league. They have been fighting their way slowly towards safety. They're not 100% safe yet, mind you. And as for things further up the table, there is still very much a battle going on for the final playoff spot, and of course, the battle that we really care about, that's at the top of the table. We are ahead of Hollyhock as things stand. Across the season, it's been ourselves and them trading places, and the first time in a little while, we've gone above them. We need a win, and we just win the league. It's as simple as that. Was really, really happy with our performance in the last game. Ultimately, we did what we needed to do. With that in mind, not going to make any changes going into this game here. Besides one, I am going to bring in Yamada here. Yamada, it's his final ever game. He's leaving us for £650,000 come the off-season. He's been a great servant to the club over the years. I'm going to miss him a little bit, although he might be back on loan. Of course, just a little reminder, the reason I'm not sure if he's coming back on loan is I sold him in the summer, but the transfer went through at the end of the year. It was like an end-of-season transfer date. But as part of the deal, they offered us a loan back on him for a year. Or actually, it wasn't even for a year. It was to the end of the season. I don't know if that's the end of this season that we're currently playing, or if they give me him back for next year until the end. No idea. It might be his last game. It might not. Nevertheless, he's in the midfield. Okay, folks. Early highlight in this game. We're not going to score inside the first 16 seconds like we did last game. That was a club record fastest goal, by the way. But we might not be too far behind. If only Yamada could get off a better shot than that. Denise to whip the ball in. We've got players there. We've got the ball in the back of the net, and it's Otaki with it. A breakthrough inside the first 10 minutes. It's not big. It's not pretty. If I'm not mistaken, that is our 13th goal from a corner this year. Our set piece kind of threat has been an important aspect of this year, and it's shown up once again there where it matters. That is a goal that puts us to the top of the table. I thought going into today's episode with the two matches and given how we've bottled live commentaries lately, there could be jeopardy. It doesn't look like our players want to have any jeopardy here as Yamada crushes the crossbar. Our players just want to get the job done nice and simple, and I don't blame them for it. Kayanoki corner. This time we're going to go short. Batata, Kayanoki cutting inside the winger back post. Yoshida is there. It's another corner. Trinita are getting bullied on set pieces. I believe it does have to be a pretty monumental goal swing in order for them to go into the very bottom spot. And of course, teams behind them need to pick up points. But Trinita are not going to want to get hammered here. Ball in the midfield. Numata battling away and picking it up. Omarov gets the pass away. And now Kamori, who looked pretty active and lively last game, is stepping forward here. Gives it to Omarov. He was offside. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Hollyhock are losing. I repeat, Hollyhock are losing. We've got another corner. Are we really going to score 3 corners in the first half an hour? I'm starting to feel dirty with these corners. This one, another different routine. Ataki turns in the box and scores. I mean, I can see why these guys are near the bottom. I don't know about you lot. As already mentioned, Hollyhock are losing, which means that we don't even really need to win this game. We could lose this game and still win the league as things stand, which is a little bit anticlimactic, but of course, it is nice to do things in style. It is nice to do things in a slightly sexy manner, isn't it? And is there anything more sexy than a win at the Oita Dome? I don't think there is. Again, new sentence being uttered today. I feel like there's a lot of sentences that have never been spoken in the history of humanity that I utter in these videos. Anyway, there's 10 minutes left of the half. We're 3 goals to the good. We've scored 3 corners. The fact that this isn't a corner playing out means we're probably not going to score. Although they are playing around with the ball deep, and they are maybe going to be playing with fire if they do lose the ball here, just like that. Omarov with Batata in front of him. Can he find the potato? Instead, he gives it back to Yamada. Omarov back with it now. Batata in the middle. He picks him out. He scores the goal. It's 4-0. That was pretty. Game done. Tile 1. Relax. Yamada, the number 8, with a really nice ball. Omarov still picked up the ball with a hell of a lot to do. He managed to pull it across really nicely, and Batata there from a yard out was never going to miss. 3 minutes at the end of this first half is going to come and go. We are 4 goals to the good. Things are going exactly as they need to. Elsewhere, Hollyhock still losing. And, well, with results staying as they are, you can see Trinita are not in danger of going down yet. But if they conceded one more goal, the goal difference could get mad. Azul Claro right now are not winning. Fesur are winning. As things stand, Fesur are getting out on the final day of the year, at least from the very bottom spot. There is automatic relegation. I've just told the players they're not playing well there. I've confused them all and upset them all. Folks, pro tip, read what you need to click before you click it in Football Manager. Don't be like me. I do think it's a miracle that I don't misclick more often when talking and playing the game. I feel like it's an underappreciated skill, the ability to provide actually insightful, occasionally, commentary, at least entertaining commentary over a video game, whilst also playing it and not necessarily having to talk through all the individual nitty-gritty decisions, many of which don't really warrant discussion. I feel like I do an okay job with it. Today I've come undone, haven't I? Today I've shown myself to be a fraud. Anyway, let's not get absolutely frauded in this game here. Imagine if now, from 4-0 up because of that team talk, we go on to lose. That would be embarrassing. Maybe bad team talks are like the secret weapon. If we score now, I'm going to do bad team talks all the time because clearly they work. Batata's got the ball here. 7 minutes into the half. He's skipping past his man. He gives it to Omarov, who finds the bottom corner. It's 5. Bad team talks are good, people. I feel like at this point I want to bring in more players for the festivities. Takaki Onyukam elsewhere. Jun Nakajima I've put on the bench for this game. Probably going to be his final ever game for the club. He has been a very loyal servant over the years, but this year he's not been good enough in J3. He's definitely not going to be good enough in J2, but we can give him a little send-off here. If he could get a goal, that would make me very, very happy. Elsewhere, I am going to bring in Takeshi at the back to try and put him in the shop window. He's another player who is probably going to be leaving us this year if the right bid comes in. Anyway, Takeshi's in the box. Takeshi's traditionally good at these set pieces. Numata is the man under that one. It's half cleared away, but Omarov is going to keep it alive. Numata now the left back with options in the middle. Kamori was one of them. It's headed half away, but falls to Jun Nakajima. He gets the fairy tale ending. It's 6-0. It deflected in. Don't let it ruin the narrative. Don't think we've won a game by that many goals this year. We've often not scraped through games. We've had comfortable games, but never 6-0. This is silly. This is a fun way to end the year. I've realised we are really ruining their goal difference. As things stand, Fesur, who were bottom of the league going into this final game, are about to come out in 18th in an absolute miracle because Trinita's goal difference has been muddied. Are they going to hold on? There's 2 minutes left here. The game has just ended. We've won the league, which I think is great, don't get me wrong. But the thing I'm really interested to know is, who is Kuano? That's what I'm firstly wondering. Kuano. And also, who's gone up, who's gone down? I'm going to actually skip the celebrations here. And if you're wondering, Jack, why are you doing that? If you've ever gone on a YouTube video and moused over it, you know, it starts to autoplay a bit of the video. For some reason, it really likes to select the confetti sequences in Football Manager. I don't want it to be spoiled for people who've not yet watched the video. You can enjoy a bit of the confetti in the background here. Here is the final league table. We are the champions on the final day. Hollyhock came back from behind, but it was all for nothing. Elsewhere, Fesur, like I mentioned, they won 3-2 on the final day to go from 33 points to 36. Azul Claro lost 2-0 to Iwaki, and elsewhere, Trinita, who we were playing, got battered so badly that on goal difference, they've gone down. A -6 goal difference on the final day has got them relegated. Why does that fill me with so much joy? I feel like it's a sign that I'm a very, very terrible person. We've won the J3 division. That does come with a little bit of prize money. You can see here, Omarov, man of the match again. He's had a very, very good end to the year, hasn't he? We are officially crowned champions. What a way to do it with that 6-0 win. We get £27,000 for finishing there. I'll be honest, I thought the prize money was going to be more. I am beginning to think that with all the finances we've managed to kind of get together, maybe we should think about upgrading our youth facilities, or at least making them exist again. Just as a reminder, right now we get no youth recruitment, which is a bit annoying. Might be pushing my luck here to ask for at the end of the year. Can we improve the youth facilities? Can we get some youth facilities? That'd be good. And networking, improve the youth recruitment. I mean, they can't make it worse, can they? So we might as well shoot our shot. I keep getting loads of intermediary suggestions. There's lots of young Brazilians out there that apparently want moves to Japan. Correa, not one of those players I'm going to be looking at. Now, I do want to get to the end of season kind of wrap up a little bit, but you can see here, we've already got all the inbox items through ahead of the new season. Here is everything going on. Apparently, we need to get the better of our rivals, Tokyo United, if we play against them. They were playing in the division below us last year. They've not been promoted, but if we look at the league table here, Nankatsu have won the JFL. So the Nankatsu are now up to the J3 division. I feel like they're chasing us. But in terms of these supporter culture and expectations, they're similar to the board ones. Nothing too drastically different here. The expectation for next year, simply avoid relegation. I can get behind that. And the good news is the board have the exact same mindset as well. They want us to avoid relegation from J2. If we could establish ourselves at this level for the next couple of years, I think it would give the club some really good stability. 3 promotions in a row, by the way, is absolutely insane for us. I'm trying to think of comparable teams who have done similar. Iwaki, I suppose, are probably the closest to that in Football Manager terms. If we look at their league history here, you can see they were promoted in 2018, 2019, 2021 and 2022. So they had 4 promotions in 5 years. Teams do tend to charge up the leagues. They actually went all the way, as you can see here, to J2 as well. We are the new Iwaki. Going to accept these vision terms from the board. Nothing different there. We're already ticking a lot of those boxes. In terms of the end of season team meeting, we just need to avoid relegation, don't we? The players absolutely love the idea that we can avoid relegation. I'm not going to make any more promises. Lads, go enjoy your holidays. So the squad's on their end of season break to the 10th of January. I want to find out about these board request bits, and then I need to get to after the playoffs to get all the end of season wrap-up bits going on here. We've announced plans to upgrade the club's training facilities. We're not going to have any youth recruitment, but we are building youth facilities for £350,000. We're also spending 2.1 million on training facilities to fulfill the league requirements. I'm going to assume our transfer budget is going to go down quite a lot before the season begins in that case. I'm going to be honest, for a moment there, I was getting like PTSD flashbacks to last year where we went into mass bankruptcy because of the facilities having to be improved. I mean, they're not cheap by any means. At least we have got the money to get this work done. I do have the option to beg the board to improve the youth recruitment. Our recruitment network is fine for a club like ours. What does that mean? We don't have one. I stress this is really important. Oh my word. My devotion to the cause is impressive. Yeah, because I want to get a youth intake. That's impressive. They're going to improve it. It's going to happen. It's now basic. Do we have stars? We have a grey star, everyone. Huzzah. That's depressing, isn't it? Anyway, the playoffs are in full swing. I'm going to go ahead and get to the end of season wrap up. We can look at our award winners within the club, reminisce on some of the transfers and players who really stood out this year, and talk a little bit about the plan for J2, because this next step up is quite a big one. So the season has concluded with the relegation playoff. Trinita have gone down. Verteen, you know, the 14 team that we beat to the title last year, they managed to beat them over 2 legs. In fact, they won both legs against Trinita. They've already sacked their manager. Not a great year for them. As for ourselves, I'd say it's been a pretty blooming good year. To get to the semi-final of the Emperor's Cup was a fun little adventure, and actually the performances by some of our big signings this year were pretty notable. I look at the likes of Omarov, Batata and Denise, the 3 foreign players that we brought in mainly for this year. They were our 3 best players by a country mile. Omarov, I actually feel like, has really been an underappreciated part of the team. He won Player of the Month in our division for the month just gone, and he has had an insane end to the year, which is going to make it difficult to drop him for next year. He may even end up starting ahead of Takagi, which is not a sentence I thought I'd ever utter. In terms of our league campaign, we got off to a good start. There was definitely a wobble towards the end. You actually look at this cluster of defeats and realise how fortunate we were that Hollyhock kind of suffered a similar fate. To the fact that in back-to-back years, though, we've been towards the top of the table and had a wobble. Maybe a little bit of a concerning trend. I'm not sure what there is to really assess from that and glean from that. Have you experienced similar things in Football Manager? Maybe I do need to look to be a bit more attacking once teams realise how good we actually are. I wonder if it's a case of first half of the year, teams underestimate us, play attacking football, our counter-attacking style catches them out. Heading into the second half of the season, people go, it's the team who are top, and try a little bit harder. Of course, in the Emperor's Cup, we had a really, really fun run. Taking out Tajigi SC, Kashima Antlers, Urawa Reds, and Renofa, all teams in the league above us, was a really, really good time. Obviously, sadly, we did lose to Vissel Kobe. They actually won the entire competition. They won the final 5-1. From a financial point of view, things were pretty good this year. We had more broadcast revenue than ever before. That's because we're finally now on TV in the J2 division. I expect that money to go up that little bit more. Way more prize money as well. Of course, a lot of this was due to our run in the Emperor's Cup. And as a result of that cup run, I imagine mostly, and also winning the league. Let's not forget that is silverware in itself. Our reputation has taken another little jump, which is exciting. Interesting that Koshimichi is the player with the most shirts sold. And if you're saying, Jared, who's Koshimichi? He's a guy that I signed during the year, you might remember. He then got a really bad injury, dislocated his shoulder and missed 3 months. Played a few games here and there at the end of the year. In fact, to say that, he played 1 game and scored in it, and then I kind of dropped him again. Let's be real, if you bought this guy's shirt, it's not been the best of investments. Interesting to note as well, when you look at our best 11 for the year, the midfield and attack for the most part, sea of green ratings, the defence, a lot less impressive with the ratings. I feel like that is an indicator as to where maybe we need to strengthen come the pre-season. Omarov won Young Player of the Year, Signing of the Year, and Fans Player of the Year. I am shocked that he's managed to do that. He only started 14 of 38 kind of league games, but I guess he ended the season so well. People are just very high on him. 7.47 rating, to be fair. 8 player of the matches in 26 games. I feel like I've not sung this guy's praises enough. His performances really have gone under the radar. Most goals in a single match. Obviously, that record broken by Matsushita, who we did sell over the summer period and then loan back to end the year. Besides those 4 goals he scored in a single cup game, his goal-scoring record has never actually been that impressive for us. I feel like he's just had the best game of his career, and now he's probably going to fade into obscurity. We are listed on Pleased to Report as the Emperor's Cup biggest overachievers. It was a competition to remember for Tokyo 23, who thrilled everyone. Yes, we did. It's a shame that we did lose to the eventual winners. And here is a quick updated look at the overall best 11 for our team. You might remember Oita left the building, didn't he, at the end of last year? He has only just signed for a new club. He has been a free agent for the whole year and is only now signed for Tokoa University, which I thought was a little bit interesting. In terms of the rest of the team, obviously Ida was sold the year just gone. 17 games played in J1, 6.48 rating. I don't think he's a J2 quality player. Mitsuhashi's still holding the record, by the way, for most appearances. 136 for the right back. And in terms of most goals, it is still Otta with his 53. Although Takagi has managed to get up to 35. Will he be able to get up to that 56? Or no, 56. 53. He needs 17 goals before he leaves the club for that to happen. There's interest in him. He didn't wow me for the year just gone either. Now, right now, our salary per year for players is £750,000 a week. I want to put that in a bit of perspective here. If we look at J2 teams, and if we just look at teams like Nagoya Grampus, who, if I'm not mistaken, I think Grampus just won the playoffs, they are spending on players £8 million a year. Yeah, £8 million. Zelvia here, you can see, spent 6.4 million. Imabari, 2.9 million. They're one of the smaller teams that actually did really well this year but lost in the playoffs. But even compared to ourselves, I mean, even the lower end teams are spending probably 3 times as much as us on our players. This next year is going to be tough. So the good news for us is there is wage budget and there is transfer budget. Whether or not these are going to get reconfigured slightly, given the fact we've just lost a load of money having to pay for training facilities upon our promotion and, of course, reinstating the youth recruitment and stuff, I guess remains to be seen. But the good news is next year, we will have youth intakes. Anyway, folks, that is going to conclude Season 4 from me here at Tokyo 23. Next time out, the Summer Transfer Special is going to begin. I'm still calling it a Summer Transfer Special. We're in December, Jack. It's the Christmas Transfer Special. That just sounds cursed, but that is what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Leave a like if you did down below. Let me know what you thought of the away day, and I'll see you tomorrow for more. I'm out.